Life Audio.
Welcome to the Crosswalk Devotional. We are so glad to have you listening with us here today. Today's topic is about friends. We will return after this brief message from our sponsors. In Praise of Friends, written by Aaron DeAnthony Brown, read by Rochelle Alberti. One with many friends may be harmed, but there is a friend who stays closer than a brother. Proverbs 18:24, CSB. The making of a friend. There's nothing quite like the feeling of reconciliation, especially when that reconciliation involves two friends. There is a certain euphoria that happens when misunderstandings get resolved, and you're suddenly on the same page again. These moments bring us closer. Not only that, but they put life into perspective. The friend that we thought meant something means so much more, and that prior conflict, so much less. There's no sure way to find a friend, even in church or through tireless prayers and countless attempts. Yet, even without a precise formula, we know a friend when we find one. We know that friends are made through hard times and tough conversations. We know that they are present when we need them the most, and even when we don't need them at all. Not every time, but definitely when it counts. These great people enrich our lives in more ways than one. We ought to thank God for the opportunity to receive them. Moreover, if Scripture is any indication, we ought to show them praise for being who they are. Intersecting faith and life. If we reflect long enough, why we ought to appreciate our friends is clear. But what's not always so obvious is how we can show them our appreciation. Here are some practical ways you can shower your friends with praise today. One important thing to do is to spend time together. When life gets busy, sometimes relationships unintentionally fall by the wayside. Texts we once exchanged with friends become less frequent, as do our phone calls. When there's less communication, chances are you're not hanging out as much. This doesn't mean the relationship is over and you're no longer friends, but there's value in continuing to invest in one another, no matter what the stage of life. Why? Quality time is a sign of gratitude, importance, and a way of serving others. Friends benefit from receiving that the same as we do. Today, give your friend a call and spend 5 minutes or longer talking on the phone. If you're feeling really ambitious, bust out the planner and find a day to get together. Go for a walk in the park, dine in at a restaurant, or just schedule a visit. Another way to show praise is to tell your friend what he or she means to you. For some, actions are more than enough to say, "I see you," and "I love you." For others, words of affirmation go a long way. They like to hear about your love, not just see it. If you want to tell someone what they mean to you, consider calling them up to tell them over the phone or in person. If you have a creative bone in you, you could write something out in a letter or a song. Don't forget to also thank God for your friends. He blesses us with these relationships, comforts us when we're in need of them, and guides us when we want to restore them. Whether you have one, two, or more, in a culture where everyone foolishly calls everyone friend, it is a blessing from on high to just have one. Pray for your friends too. They do so much for us. Advice, encouragement, accountability, keeping us company, the list goes on and on. We should thank God for them, but we should also pray that He would bless them. We can give them good gifts, but what God can give them is so much better. Pray for them and their families, their health, their goals, and even their friends. Do right by them. Or, in other words, be for them what they have been for us. Just as we hope that our friends will keep us on the straight and narrow, we ought to do the same for them. Doing so ensures that we will have a relationship that stands the test of every trial and even time itself. further reading and listening. Proverbs 17:17. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Proverbs 13:20. Proverbs 27:6. Psalm 27:17. And Friends by Marvin Winans and the Perfected Praise Choir.
The Crosswalk Devotional is a production of Life Audio and Salem Media. If you liked what you heard today, please take a second to rate and review this podcast in your favorite podcast app so that more listeners like you can find the show. For more faith-filled, inspirational podcasts, visit us at lifeaudio.com.
In a recent survey, parents reported that 52% of homeschooled children need learning accommodations. These parents need practical advice, encouragement, and hope to fuel their homeschooling efforts. The Empowering Homeschool Conversations podcast is where parents gain wisdom on how to teach unique learners successfully at home, like Laura, who recently told us, "I needed this episode. I don't need a fancy curriculum or need to be a special ed teacher to teach my son. You have given me hope." To listen now, go to Life Audio or search Empowering Homeschool Conversations on your favorite podcast app.